Hi, I'm Sam with BatchStovez, and I just wanted to take a minute and do a video on lids, specifically lid handles. As most of you are aware, the lids I sell come with a paracord handle, and the reason I use this handle is, number one, it's easily replaceable. Number two, it will fold flat so that you can it'll store easier, especially on the 22-ounce beer can replacement cook pots that I sell. Those go in a Ziploc container, and the lid will fold flat, and the lid will screw on. The Ziploc container will screw together, and it's out of the way, and it's not a hassle. Another reason I like the paracord handle is there's no chance of it expanding and contracting and cracking like wood handles do. Now, wood handles are nice, and they serve a good purpose, but they do stick up a little bit. And from overall use, the steam getting in there, sometimes the screw will rust, and the wood will tend to expand and contract, and eventually it'll get loose, and with my experience, and they'll fall off. So I just try to avoid the wooden handles. But that brings up about an interesting fact, and that is, although I was aware of this, it really became more prevalent when I started to do quite a bit of dry baking. I came out with the small dry baking dish that fits in my 10 centimeter cook pot or an Amusa 10 centimeter mug, and I found that although I already knew that the paracord melts, because that's what I do with the frayed ends, I melt it and prevent it from fraying anymore. When you're boiling water, there's not really a problem, or any other kind of liquid type cooking. But when you're just doing dry baking and you use the paracord handle with a lid, it will melt. And although it's easily scraped off the lid and you can replace it, it's better just to avoid it altogether. So there's a couple of things you can do. If you're going to be doing some dry baking, you can just remove the paracord handle simply by just pulling it out. It gives you a nice little vent hole, and you can use the lid that way. But I thought, well, you still want a handle, right? So I came up with a couple of different other options. And one is to take a piece of micro fuel line, and you can simply just stick the micro fuel line down in the hole, and it won't melt because it's made of silicone, and it folds flat, which is nice, so you can pack it. And it also has its own built-in vent hole. A lot of people have been asking me, hey Sam, how about putting a hole in the lid so they can use it to vent? Well, I don't do that because there may only be a handful of people that want the hole in there. And if you do want a hole, a lot of people have their own drill, and they can drill a hole in there any size they want, or several holes if they want, to use it for like a strainer type situation. So I just leave that up to people, and let them do their own holes if they want to do that. But anyways, the silicone fuel line works real good for dry baking, and it gives it a vent hole, so that's kind of nice. So that kind of takes care of two birds with one stone. And another option is simply to just take a silicone wristband and cut it about 1.5 inches long. Then after you cut it, you can slit it just a little bit on one side and a little bit on the other side, so that you can kind of fold that over like that. Stick it through the lid like so. You stick it through the lid, and you have a nice silicone lid handle again, folds flat for storage, which is a plus. And you can use it for dry baking. And because it's thin, it also gives a little vent hole area on each side of the original hole that's in the lid. So I just thought I'd kind of put that information out there. Something that I discovered and while I was doing some dry baking. And so there's just a couple of different options. So, you know, you got the old wooden handle. You can go that route. You've got the silicone wristband handle, which works very well. You can use some microfiber fuel line, about 1 1/4 inch, 1.5 inch of fuel line. It's got the built-in vent hole on it. That's kind of neat. And then you can just use the standard paracord handle. Now, all my cook pots, I'm going to continue to just install the paracord type handle. I may in the future, you know, if somebody requests it, of course I'm going to, you know, send them a silicone wristband handle. Or if they want a microfiber fuel line handle when they buy a kit or a pot, all they got to do is ask. I don't have a problem switching it out for them. It's not that big of a deal. But I just thought those were something that were kind of interesting. So if you're looking for a different type handle, those are 3 choices right there, other than your standard wooden knob. So I'm Sam at Batch Stoves. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and stop by the website. Have a great day.